Test. Is it working? Oh, great. Okay. That was more trouble than it was worth, probably. Hang on. Has it? Why isn't it? But has the music stopped? Okay. No, you've got the right word. Alright, I can start the stream now. I think. Everything is working. Is the music cutting out now? Test. Okay. I think I have things working properly now. But I can't hear the music. Okay. I can't hear anything. This. How? Ah! That got me. I got an ad in the chat. That's something. How do I get rid of it? is... How do I get rid of it? It's not letting me do anything. Okay. I guess thanks for the follow, random bot. The chat isn't clearing. Oh, I've had nothing but trouble. The music's cutting in and out. Okay. Welcome to the stream. I think I can finally get started. So, okay. Been working on this piece for a while. Oh, the art proofs. Okay. So, I'm hoping... I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna do the background today. I don't want to work on the foreground stuff. Do not feel like it. Just gotta get the buildings done. Just blocking in colors right now. I'm gonna add details and texture later. I haven't done a cityscape like this for a long time. How does the audio sound? Okay, not bad. What do I do for this? These. I'm gonna try to make them all different colors. They each have slightly different design. I might mix up. I might reuse a couple. But they all have, or are supposed to have, slightly different designs. Some might use the same materials. Concrete. My computer's fan is going crazy. It does. Yep. I'm never really sure how to do windows. I always think like I should make them blue, but that's not real. They're not blue unless they're reflecting the sky or something else that's blue. Maybe they're tinted, so they'd be a bit darker. Each one of the, I'm gonna have to probably stick some details in there later. Like just some of them have curtains, some of them will have people. I doubt there's gonna be people sitting, but not many. Some, maybe. This might be an apartment, maybe? I'm not sure. These will just be reflecting that building back there. This one's just gonna have the light on. These ones will be like turned off. No lights in there. That's the lobby. Ah, reflections. I hate reflections. There's gonna be very reflective windows showing the sky. Mostly up at the top here. Which level is lined up with the camera? This. So there might be some like buildings in there. In the background. Have I missed? My chat isn't updating. Hope I haven't missed anything. Why isn't it updating? Come on. Alright. Maybe there could be a ship up in the background. Figure that out when I get to it. So it's just gonna be reflecting that building. This one that the guy is on. This one here. Might get that. Are these the same color? They are. Eh, I'll deal with that later. I haven't done proper reflections ever. This is gonna be interesting. Seascape's gonna be kind of difficult to pull off, maybe. This one should be paler. There's probably gonna be something else in front of these two. So I'll put that in. Actually, he won't be in the reflection. He's off to the side a little bit. At a decent. So these should actually probably be more like with another building up at the front there. Whoa, that's way darker than I wanted. This one might stick out here. That'll do for now. Actually, where's the sun? Where's the light coming from? Kinda very sideways. So maybe the sky is gonna be closer to sunset. Come on. So instead of a blue sky, we're gonna go with more of an orange. Just kind of a placeholder to set. Make sure I remember. Just gonna make like a dude, just one dude sitting at his desk, computer. Makes absolutely no sense. Why is he there? I don't know. Working late for some reason in a war zone, I guess. Unless they're wrong. It's more like that. Just dude in his office doing whatever. The other ones won't have people. They'll just be. You can tell it's an office building. But there's no one there. Just little scenes for now. Ah! That wasn't supposed to happen. And then here. Oh, okay. What do I do here? This is gonna be a lobby. I don't want to. I'll put like a flower in it. Jeez, I cannot make it good. There, flower. That'll do. How would it be light if there's no one there? It's probably darker. He's got the lights on, he's working, but everywhere else they're off. Everything's turned off, shut down. That's a weird looking flower. Maybe curtains. I'll just put curtains. Then these are at an angle, too much of an angle, they'll just be reflecting this building back here. Or maybe something else. Some building. These windows are tinted. They're just dark. This one would probably also be reflective. Um, Alright. So Is there a door back here? Maybe not. Give this one also tinted windows, so I don't feel like anything special for it. Dumpsters, yay. The bike. Alright, that'll do. This song reminds me of Half-Life for some reason. We've been playing, my family, me, my dad, my sister have been playing Half-Life 2 recently. It's a good game, despite its age. Most aspects it holds up to today's standards, I think. Even the graphics are better than you would expect for a game older than me, I think. Like what was it, 90, was it 97? Hang on. There's no way it's that old. Did Half-Life 2004. This game is almost 20 years old. Has it won 39 Game of the Year awards in only 18 years? That's... How does that work? How are you Game of the Year 39 times in 18 years? Like, it's a good game, but it's not that good. Even if, like, you win multiple categories. I don't know if they do categories, but, like, best graphics, best gameplay, best indie game. It's not, like, is it an indie game or is it AAA by Valve? I don't know. Like, even then, that's how many? That's almost 3 awards every year. And I know this isn't Game of the Year, like, last year, and the year before that. Like, how do you get 39? Ravenholm is probably my favorite section of the game that we've played through so far. I think it's the first time a game has properly scared me in a long time. Since, like, Five Nights at Freddy's 1 first came out, but I was like 8 or something then, that doesn't count. Half-Life 2 is older than Tommy in it, I think. That might be true. That's something. I don't know how old Tommy is, like when his birthday is. I know he's younger than me, and that's it. I wish I'd played Half-Life 2 a long time ago. Probably could have gotten some cool inspiration from it, but now I'm like, I could still. But I would have been able to work it better into the stuff that I'm working on now. Stream's been live for an hour now, but it's probably 45 minutes of actual anything. I played Metroid Dread, I played through it for the first time pretty recently. I got it. Well, I didn't get it for Christmas, but I got it with money I got on it for Christmas. And it's a good game. It's the first 2D Metroid I've played. It's definitely something. I was so surprised when never mind, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil the epic thing that happens like halfway through the game, and then the epic thing that happens at the end of the game, and the other epic thing that happens halfway through the game. There's a bunch of epic things that happen. It's a good game. What the heck's going on? Why is the pressure screwing up? There we go. But I played it through for the first time pretty recently. And I'm gonna have to go play the other 2D Metroids at some point. I've played through Metroid Prime, the original Metroid Prime as well. That's also a really good game. That's probably one of my favorites. Of the I was gonna say of the Metroid games I've played, that's my favorite, but I've only played 2, so it's not really fair. Did I forget to? I did. Shoot. This will be another transparent windowed office building. There. No, but they're going to be turned off as well. So I feel like 2's really long though. Might be the biggest thing I have against it. We're at the point in the game I don't actually know what we're supposed to be doing anymore. We're just following the path. I don't remember why we're fighting the Combine. I don't remember how this whole situation happened. What's up with the Vortigons? The difficulties picked up. in the game as well. We're pretty far. We're at, what was it called? It looks like a prison. It's Nova Prospect. I think that's what it's called. Interesting section of the game. I think I could spoil Half-Life. It's been out for 18 years. If you haven't played it, go stop listening. But when you get the sandworms, no, not sandworms, the antlines. That's cool. It's a fun section. Wait, it's just that whole area. We haven't finished it yet, but the beginning part, really cool. Moving in felt cool. Getting into the fortress. Why are the windows and ceilings too low? We figured out I'm pretty sure that the secondary for the pulse rifle is that energy ball from Portal. It makes the same sounds, it looks the same, behaves the same. Like, I don't know if it's not that, I don't know what it would be. We'll say it's not fun to fight both the Combine and the aliens, because we have different tactics for each. Get thrown off a bunch. So like I'm going out with the shotgun and killing the head crabs. Then like an army of Combine soldiers show up and I'm not equipped for that. The thing I like least about streaming is that it's just the whole time I'm trying to hold a one-sided conversation talking about total random nonsense. I think I've heard people recommend that when you're starting out, you stream with friends, but I don't want to. Really? I could. The people I would stream with are all in school. I have a super long break. Sitting at home doing nothing. I'm already not good at conversations. Holding one with on my own is a bit weird. No way, it goes here. It goes to here. Ah. Like, why are the Vortigons helping Gordon in Half-Life? I have absolutely no idea. Weren't they enemies in the first game? I don't remember. In Half-Life 2, I should clarify. Because I don't... I'm pretty sure they were enemies the first time. I swear, because they, like, revere him, and I have no idea why. say random crap or random nonsense earlier? I don't remember. Like, I could talk about what's going on in the picture, but I did that last stream, and they, like, I don't know. Or the last time I streamed, or 2 streams ago, I think. I guess I could give a bit of background, because I don't think I talked too much about the history of this setting. I don't remember. Maybe I did. What the heck? Why is it? There we go. What city would this be? So this isn't taking place on Earth, but like what city on the planet that it is? Like, would it be a capital city? Would it be like just a big city? Maybe a port? A port would make, or like near a spaceport? They don't need a spaceport. There's something in space that the tanks would want. It makes sense for this to probably be. It would either be in the like capital or in like the middle of absolute nowhere. There's no like it wouldn't make nowhere else really make sense, or maybe in like a regional capital. It could be. Really, with the spaceport, like this is just the city. The spaceport would be nearby. The capital city of the planet is really close to a spaceport, so it could be there. So a bit of background in case you weren't here. I think there's a pretty good chance that you and whoever the second person actually, that second person watching might be me on my phone. Whatever. Oh, it's doing the pressure thing again. There we go. I forgot what I was saying. Something about that spaceport. Capital is right next to a spaceport, so it would make sense for that. So these tanks, they're probably like artillery, short range artillery or something, but they were, in the story of whatever is going on here, they were captured by rebels from the military. The heck? Oh, oops. And just as part of a revolution, that's the word, against the unpopular planetary government. It would make sense for this to be in the capital. It could also be near a spaceport because they might be trying to flee. Because in the history of this thing that I made up, they wouldn't be the first ones to steal from the military and then run away. I don't know why they take ground vehicles and then flee to space. So I think it's probably more likely that they're just trying to either stake out their own territory or overthrow the government. And then this guy here, he's a Marine going and intercepting the convoy. Because the military is the only demographic that actually... Hang on, let me pull up. I have a lot of stuff about this. I've been working on it for over a year. Not this picture specifically, but like the world it's set in. Like I have... Let me switch capture modes, hang on. So like all of this is stuff that I've been working on recently. I have most of it written down on paper and I'm just putting it onto digital form. So you've got the history. Give it a second. Of what's going on. So like you've got a bunch of random stuff in like first decade. But then they like, you get here, you get wormhole, J drives get discovered, they start flying around faster than light. It's a very unreliable system. If you use it, if 100 spacecraft tried to warp to a destination, 97 of them would make it without incident. 2 would be totally lost, and 1 would have just not left because of a failure of the drive. It's a very unreliable system, but very powerful. And you get here, humans land on this planet, so that's what's going on here. Humans show up on this planet. It's a little bit behind human development. So it's probably when they landed, it was kind of roughly equivalent to medieval era. Humans show up, so these guys. This is one of the natives, and they're about 150 years, or about 100 years rather. They kind of develop up to then modern human standards before losing contact with Earth around what year was it? 2168 or 2165 is when they stopped communicating to try to keep Intera out of a major war. That's the name of this planet, Intera. I don't think I said it. But I've got a ton of stuff about this. I haven't finished. I've been working on it a lot. I've got the one I wanted to pull up was this one. I've gotten totally off track. So you've got, this is kind of different demographics opinion on a bunch of stuff. So you've got the Rogue Fleet, which was the first kind of revolutionary movement against the planetary government. They stole a bunch of spacecraft and flew away, and are being chased by some of the Space Force and the Marines. But overall, like the military and the military and the government don't like them, but everyone else just kind of doesn't care. It's just a bunch of random stuff. I forgot why I was pulling that up in the first place. What else is interesting? I've got stuff about the entire solar system. I haven't finished this one. But like I've got orbital statistics. I made all this a long time ago. And I just put it in the document. I did this yesterday. No, 3 days ago. Which one did I do yesterday? This one. Common military weapons. It is pretty thorough. I have all kinds of stuff about this. I've got like details about the culture and the like how the different species behave differently to one another. It's because you've got on Intera, you've got humans living alongside the native species that I've just been calling Interans because I don't have a better name for them. I've got the structure of their government. Oh, I have to open this in a website, hang on. I've been working on this. So the whole thing started, the original thing was the first version of this. It's called, so what he's got is Marine combat armor, but that's derived, it's a variant based off of a spacesuit, and the spacesuit started this whole thing. I came up with it because I wanted to make a Halloween costume like 4 years ago. Just never got around to it. Oh yeah, I've got names for like half the government officials. Not everyone, but a lot of them. You've got a bunch of committees. This is a total garbage government. It is flawed fundamentally, which is, it doesn't get anything done. Nobody likes it, but nobody cares enough to do anything about it until, I guess, somebody does. I don't know what year this would be, but after 2215, because that's kind of what I've been doing, the perspective of everything from. So you got the government, you got all kinds of stuff, you got security. This seems out of. Hang on. This might be the wrong one. This is the one I was thinking of. Government structure, that's right. So this is just a bunch of names for the federal government. This is, let's see. I've got the military structure, which is very overcomplicated. The way their military works, I think, is kind of interesting. So there's 4 branches. I'll show you in a minute. So you've got, let me zoom out. How do I zoom? This nonsense flowchart shows the distribution of power in the government, and also for the military, I guess. You've got kind of 4 broad sections of the government. You got the justice system, which is basically identical to the US justice system. Got the legislative system, which is dumb and stupid and doesn't get anything done. It's just a bunch of councils that all advise each other. They've got the military, which is somewhat competent, except that the three powerful branches, the Space Force, Army, and Marine Corps, are not actually directly controlled by the government, which is a critical flaw in this structure. They are each individually a private force that has been basically contracted by the government. We've got the Planetary Defense Force, which is the least capable branch. It is directly controlled and owned by the government. They've got like peacekeeping, which is police and security stuff. Let me see. What else do I have? I've got... This is the military structure. So you've got the federal government, which controls directly the PDF. They're lame and don't do much. Basically counter-revolutionary stuff, but only to an extent. If they have to deal with really big threats, they usually call in the Marines. The Marines are the most complicated branch, but also the most capable. So they're decently sized. They are the ones in control of intelligence, as well as military advising. So they have a bunch of strategists, and they focus mostly on special operations and counter-revolutionary activities. You've got the army, which does basically nothing. They're very straightforward, focused on like large-scale ground assaults, both on and off world. So like they could do stuff if there is ground to put stuff on. You've got the Space Force, which is also kind of complicated, but probably makes the most sense out of all of them. It's split up into capital ships and strike ships. Capital ships being like cruisers, carriers, battleships, and strike ships being smaller ships, frigates, destroyers, and fighters. With a bunch of weird promotion line for pilots, you can go from like a defense pilot to an offense pilot to a captain. That's the only officer rank that you can get without actually being an officer. These guys are the most active and the largest branch. They are constantly developing better armor, better weapons, better strategies, with support from the Marines especially, because they are terrified of... Let me show you something else. These guys, when it opens, get rid of the lighting. So this is an Andromedan Juggernaut, is what it's called. The Andromedans are a species of aliens that basically showed up one day and invaded Earth. They outclassed, they were technologically superior by hundreds of years, and just wiped the floor with humans. Earth, they didn't engage in Terra, which is why things stayed. They broke communication with Earth once the moon exploded. They just blew up the moon. It didn't even do anything. It accomplished nothing for their goals. But they blew up the moon, and then at that point, whoever was in control of Earth, probably the United Nations, was like, alright, we're gonna lose. But they didn't surrender, because they had learned. They do not respect surrender. They are So a bit about the Andromedans. I don't have much about them on the computer. They are a very chaotic species. Their civilization is basically structured entirely around stress and violence. They respond to stress by causing violence, and that violence causes more stress, and it's a positive feedback or a negative feedback loop. It's positive, and it just has led to this militaristic society that has totally stagnated. It grew really quickly, technologically and culturally, and then just stopped. They've broken up into a bunch of factions that are constantly fighting each other, with only a couple being smart enough to disengage and try to not kill each other. The force that invaded Earth was a faction that had been kicked off their homeworld because they were too violent, which is remarkable for them. It's basically a bunch of space pirates. They go around raiding planets they find interesting, Earth being one of them. The Juggernauts are extremely rare. They're very hard to train because the Andromedans have almost no loyalty, but the Juggernaut system is built entirely on loyalty. If they are not loyal, they do not become a Juggernaut. There's less than 100 of them in the entire civilization. But the Space Force is terrified of these guys after they presumably destroyed Earth, and Terra doesn't actually know the outcome of the war. Earth lost badly, and the planet was put into an apocalyptic state by their weapons of mass destruction. It kind of sucked for Earth. But there are survivors. There's a group of Mad Max-like nomads, which is that was kind of part of the reason. This whole thing with Andromeda's attacking Earth, I don't even remember how I came up with that. But it ended up being the foundation for some cool stuff that's going on there. No, there was less. So these guys are very rare. There were probably like two that on the force that invaded Earth. Their normal weapons are capable enough to blow up the moon and rearrange continents. It's nuts. But what they have in technological power, they have absolutely no strategy. As is, in 2215, the Antaran military is still technologically behind, but it has caught up enough that just by strategy, they would be able to win against the pirates. Against the whole Andromedan civilization, I'm not sure. But that's unlikely. Yeah. That paste isn't finished. I just haven't worked on it in ages. So what's going on here? Probably there was yeah. Is there anything else kind of interesting? I've got a map of the planet. Not super interesting. I need to find a better way to do this. Right now, this is just a rough map of Anterra. It's slightly larger than Earth. Its gravity is about 1.1 g. There's less landmass, but it's huge. I need a better map, basically. I made this in about 10 minutes. That's about all the interesting stuff I have on my computer. I have a binder with a bunch of stuff in it. that I've been working on moving all of that to a digital format. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it once I've done that, because I want to publish it somehow. I might make a website. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna get some water. I will be right back. I am back. I'm gonna actually mod you. Figure out how that works. Oh, okay, you are a mod now. Enjoy your mod ship. Potato. Did it work? Isn't there supposed to be a... Okay. Let me change my capture back to... Alright. Oh yeah, there's the little icon. Okay. So... I want to hopefully... I've probably got another hour in me for today. I'll try to get what I can done in that time. So the capital city is it's a big port. Let me pull up the map again. I can show you where it is. If I remember. I'm just gonna capture the whole screen. It's easier that way. So it would be about there, is where the capital is. This doesn't show cities, it's just landmass, but right there is the capital. It's a pretty decently sized city. It's got a big bunch of everything, really. It's got probably home. I don't have this. I haven't come up with data for it yet, but it's probably got a population of several million. That would make sense. It's got a big port. It's got a spaceport nearby. So it's a very big. Well, if export was really a thing, they would be big for that. But it's just kind of shipping between the islands and to stuff in space. It's the seat of the central government, and the public opinion here is actually a lot higher of the government than of most other places. What's going on? Hang on. Nope, that's right. Okay. The economy in the planet is decent. It's a bit, as far as like economic type, it would probably be called capitalist still. By Cold War American standards, it would be socialist. But it is still like, it's got private businesses. Government's pretty weak, but it has a lot of regulations on things and social security stuff. I think it actually says a lot that the military is privately run about their kind of economic situation. The public sector is very powerful, despite the kind of government being somewhat selfish. I've been working a bit on trying to figure out like what kind of life they have here. So they've got animals, but it's not like Earth animals. They have some animals from Earth, but not many. Okay, so what are the majority of governments? On Antera, there is one central planetary government which directly runs everything. It's a council with 5 members. It's called the Central Council. The members, it's meant to mirror kind of the population split between humans and Terrans. So there's about 5 billion inhabitants of the planet, 3 billion Terrans, 2 billion humans. And so there's 3 Terran members of the council and 2 human. And that gets mirrored down to local levels as well. Other places I haven't really worked on. So there are some other civilizations, but there are none that Antera has contact with. The Andromedans are basically a bunch of dictatorships. Earth is scattered. There's no real intact government except for something in Britain, and Iceland Iceland. This is mostly a joke, but Iceland was basically left untouched during the war. It was just ignored. And so it's mostly intact. What the heck is going on with the pressure? The Andromedans have really nothing going on. There's another planet that I haven't talked about. It's like a medieval fantasy type thing. It's basically D&D planet. What the heck? They've got a bunch of like monarchies. There is another major civilization somewhere else in the galaxy, but I'm still working on the details for it. It's kind of like mini Star Wars. They've got Star Wars type tech, they've got warp drives, they've got they don't use so much jump drives like in Star Wars, but they use gates, wormhole gates, to travel large distances. They've got a huge spacecraft industry. They've got hundreds of models of ships. I have a list somewhere of every ship in that civilization. Every type and everything it can do. There's 5. So I can talk a bit about them. I have a lot less set in stone. I haven't finished working on it yet. I'm nowhere near close to even beginning. But they've got 5 major races in it. You've got kind of humanoid one. You've got a couple aquatic ones. You got one that looked like this weird mix of a bunch of aquatic animals. You got like, I'd show you a picture, but I don't have one. Actually, I might. Hang on. I might have scanned one into the computer. I will never find it. No, I don't. I might not have. Okay, yeah, I don't have it. Oh well, but it's basically like aquatic thing. You've got an octopus-like species, which is also aquatic. Then you got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's other ones. There's two more. But I'm trying to remember what one of them is. I don't remember. But anyway, the 4th one that I remember, maybe there was only 4. The 4th one is robotic. It's a hive mind robots. Nobody knows where they're from, nobody knows what they want, but they've integrated themselves into the society. And people have gotten used to it. They're just kind of there, doing their own thing. Not causing any more of a problem than anyone else. I don't know what kind of government they have, though. Hive mind is just like they're a hive mind. They don't have a government. It doesn't have a government. But the rest of them, I really don't know. Probably something similar to Star Wars with like a Senate and a Chancellor. That civilization is basically all the sci-fi stuff I've ever seen just lumped together. You've got inspiration from like Star Wars, Babylon 5, Firefly, not Star Trek. I haven't seen enough Star Trek. The warp gates, I had the idea after playing even. I lost my train of thought. Who's chill? You didn't know who was chill? I do want to mention that civilization I was talking about. That they are isolated from like the whole thing with the Earth and the Andromedans and Terra. They have no idea that any of that is going on, and they've just sheer bad luck, I guess. Nobody has found them either. Well, they do eventually, like 105 years after humans show up on Antera. So a bit about the calendar they use, because Antera does not. Oh, the hive mind, yeah, nobody really knows. They're just there, doing their own thing. There's some regions of the galaxy that they don't let anyone else in, with very efficient defenses. But as long as people don't go there, they're not hostile. They just operate the same as anyone else. I forgot what I was thinking. Oh, wait a second. What song is this? Oop. I have run out of playlist. If you're watching on mobile, then the delay is going to be really bad. It's not supposed to play stuff that isn't streamed, like Harris Heller, because I don't have enough music. Like, I know I could probably go pretty quickly and find. I think Nintendo soundtracks are safe to use, at least some of them, but I don't have them saved. I don't have them ready to use. I'm gonna have to make a playlist for stream. I'm gonna do that sometime this month, probably, when I remember. I may end in a few minutes. Around 2:30, I'm gonna probably have to start wrapping up. I say have to, I could go longer, but I don't really want to. Not even that I don't want to, I have other stuff that I want to do today. I'm trying to reset my routines because I've been doing really bad about following them over the break. I have a question. How does the how has the audio been sounding? Because I have constant audio issues while streaming. I want to know if I did better this time. Like, balance between music and my voice and like anything else. Great asterisk. I don't believe you. Okay. Alright. Cool. I've zoned out. I might drop this piece after today. Like, I'll save it, I'll work on it again some other time, but I have gotten tired of this. I want to work on something else. I've been doing this piece for... Oh, I got a notification. Ah, okay. Thanks for the follow. I cannot wait to have access to my second monitor again. I should have brought it on vacation. Should have brought it home. I didn't actually expect to be able to stream while here, and that's basically the only thing I use it for. Sometimes other stuff. I wish the overlay worked on this program. It'd be nice. If I hover over here. Because I have to, without my second monitor, I have to, every time I get some kind of notification, I have to go look over. I have to change tabs. I'm gonna fix the capture. I'll see if I can go to 3, but I might have to stop early. I'm gonna end the stream at 3. If we get that far. I'm getting a bit tired. Might stop before then. I was gonna do something today, but I don't remember what it was. Well, music on Twitch. I think Twitch's guidelines for music and like what I can play with copyright stuff is looser than YouTube. I'm just totally bouncing between trains of thought here. Alright, see you some other time. Have fun at school or whatever it is you have to go to. I want to show you, whoever's still watching, something else that I've been working on, because I'm proud of it, and this is also taking place kind of a bit in the future in the same universe, so you'll recognize the Marine. These are some examples of Andromedan ships. This isn't finished, but it's getting close. I'm just really proud of this planet. I want to show it off. Look at it. The rings are a bit pixely, which I'm disappointed by. I tried to fix it and couldn't, but I don't feel like redoing the rings because it was a bit complicated. But like, look at the planet. It's got a thing and it's got stuff. It is my favorite part of this piece by far. Hang on a second, something's missing. There should be a... Maybe that's it. Can't be, it's too small. I'll figure it out some other time. Basically, there's supposed to be a little moon in the rings next to the fuzzy one. I don't know why it isn't there. I might have removed it, but I don't think I did. That takes place. So that's an image from... Okay, so stuff's going to get a bit complicated to explain what's going on there. That is the second Andromedan War in the split-off timeline created by a thing that happened that I haven't explained yet, which I'm about to explain. So, before I explain that, there are kind of two timelines happening with this. So there's the normal one, and then there's the not normal one. There is absolutely no difference between them, except for one guy. One guy in one in one of the timelines, this one guy is crazy, and in the other one, he isn't. That is the only difference. But it ends up having a huge effect on his history, I guess. The second Andromedan War is kind of what the military's been preparing for when the Andromedans come back and they have to fight. So they were detected, they found, even before this picture takes place, an Andromedan probe had been sighted near another planet that was known to have life on it that they've been kind of studying for a bit. And so all focus on operations near that planet have switched from scientific to military. Because if they do not want the Andromedan showing up. And if they do, they need to deal with it. The second Andromedan War happens when the Andromedans do show up. In the timeline where the one guy isn't crazy, the normal timeline, he has absolutely no effect on the war, and it goes as normal. The superior strategy from the Antaran army, the Antaran forces are able to overcome the Andromedans. And after a fairly short war, the Andromedans fall back. What happens after that I haven't actually decided. I don't know if Antara chases them or what. But in the alternate timeline where the guy is crazy, he, for some reason, feels a need to punish civilization for what he's gone through, which I haven't explained yet, but I will. And he assists the Andromedans in terms of strategy. So he's an ex-military scientist. He probably worked in the... I guess he worked probably for the Marines. I haven't decided. I never wrote that down anywhere. But he defected and started assisting the Andromedans. He started acting as a strategic advisor, I guess, is what you could call it. Basically telling them what they're doing wrong and how to do it better. And it has a huge effect on the war. It goes from a pretty quick war that the Interrans can easily win to a very long, drawn-out war. The Interrans are slowly losing. Because the only thing that Interra had going for it was its strategy, and now the Andromedans have that strategy. They don't understand it as well, so they can't apply it effectively, but it takes their pretty garbage military and turns it up to like an 8 if Interra is a 10, and so with the extra technology that they have, they're able to just win more. But the conflict, because of the scale it ends up reaching, draws the attention. It gets noticed by that other civilization, the one with the hive mind and all the other people. They notice and start and go to investigate. They contact, so they probably contact both sides, or maybe even don't contact them. They just kind of are there. They observe for a bit and to see that the Andromedans are extremely destructive and hostile to just about everything. That the Interrans are fighting a defensive war. And so the majority, they end up with a split. So there's the majority of the civilization sides with Interra, but a portion, some of the more militaristic kind of factions within it, end up siding with the Andromedans because of their power. They would rather side with the villain and win than side with the good guys and lose. From their perspective, or from other people's. This is kind of a perspective that some people have on it. They see so they do it because they see the opportunity to use the Andromedans' power for their own conquests. So they side with the Andromedans, and this ends up taking the war that's already large scale and drawn out, and turns it into an even larger scale war that is even more drawn out. And that's what's happening in the other image. That planet is probably in the middle of nowhere, has absolutely no importance, except for like an ammo production facility or something, and there's a fight going on around it. But the reason, I'm going to get to the reason the guy's insane now. He was a scientist for a company called QTech, or I think the full name is Quantum Technologies, but it's just known as QTech. They were the company that developed the jump drives, the J drives that are used on spacecraft, and have a hand in some other military technologies, such as a laser that was developed based on the Andromedan weapons. It's a very destructive weapon that is completely like they don't even test it. It's treated similarly to modern nuclear weapons. If you fired it within an atmosphere, the atmosphere would burst into flame and destroy everything nearby. The laser. So they're working on, at this time, this image, when this is kind of taking place, before this happens, they are working on a project known as Portal. I don't remember, it's an acronym, but I don't remember what it stands for. Basically, they're creating wormholes that are, so they've used J-Drive technology, the warp drive technology, and have used it to create long-lasting portals. Or are trying to use it to create long-lasting portals that can go not just to other places in the universe, but to different times and even different universes. the first test series, test 1, A through whatever, was basic. They proved that it could theoretically work, but they weren't able to actually get it to work. The 2 series of tests was designed to get it working now that they had the concept. They had a functional system and were tweaking values with each test to see what worked. Test 2D, they actually hit something. A lot happened. Basically, they fired up the test as normal. They opened the portal and were gonna throw some stuff through to see how it reacted. Tests before that had opened portals, but they had been unstable, and when objects passed through, the portal would collapse. This test, they opened the portal, and they noticed that the color is a little bit different. They had anticipated that. So, like, the color corresponds to the stability. They haven't figured out what color corresponds to what yet, what colors are stable and what aren't. But they get, I think it was, I don't remember what color it was. It was a color. It might have been yellow. And it holds itself open with nothing going through it. So one of the scientists goes and is about to throw an object in when a power surge hits that overloads. Just a bunch of stuff happens. For some reason, so there's a power surge, and the systems that are meant to prevent the power surge from affecting the lab don't work, or don't work well enough. And the power surge hits the lab and affects and overloads the portal system, the generation system. The actual specifics of why it did what it did, they don't know. It shouldn't have, based on their models. It should have just not worked. Yeah, I'm back to this. So, oh, you missed the pretext. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna finish this bit. So the portal overloads, and instead of collapsing like they expected, it started to expand beyond the containment field pretty rapidly. So this is after just a couple seconds. It's already expanded beyond the containment field, and it's changing color rapidly. Starts to emit high energy radiation. The scientist in there gets out. They set off an alarm. This is like 10 seconds later. The portal is now filling the room. When it does collapse, but it doesn't collapse and close. It collapses into a singularity, which then goes. In my notes for it, I wrote that it went nova or something like that, supernova. It basically exploded. But the portal effects of it hadn't worn off, hadn't stopped, so everything within a certain radius was teleported to the portal's exit location, which happened to be a Backrooms-esque. This was before I came up with this before the Backrooms was popular, so this is original. It's kind of a Backrooms-esque. That's not true. This was inspired by the Backrooms. Because I remember the fungus monster. They get teleported to this place. One of the other side effects is that the portal splits the timeline. In one of them, one scientist goes crazy because of the portal's effects, and in one of them, he doesn't. And that's the scientist that ends up having an effect on the war later. But they go in, so they are in this kind of backrooms version of the lab. It's this ruined lab. So their lab that had got sucked through the portal is kind of embedded within this older lab, and it's not a clean mix. So there's dead ends. So at the edge of the portal's radius, there's a bunch of like dead ends, walls that don't align with themselves properly, the ceiling's a different height. So they take a second to, all the scientists that got pulled through in the explosion, they take a second to regroup and make a plan. They try to reopen the portal but don't have a source of power. Besides, so like they have the emergency lights that got sucked through that are turned on and nothing else. as well as like a flashlight in a case on the wall in case of blackout. So they go take those and start exploring to see if maybe they'll find something. And they find notes in... I think all of the notes were in Russian. So a bit about Antera, they speak kind of 3 languages, speak English mostly, but then there's also very common is Russian and the native Antaran language. But all of the notes they find are in Russian, but it's about their experiments, about the same experiments under a different name, but all the math is the same, the effects are the same. And after a while, they're able to use those notes to... someone also finds a power generator and turns it on. It's like a power generation room. It's got a bunch of generators, electrical stuff. He's able to turn it on. This is the scientist that goes crazy. It's the one who does that. Just a little side note. It's not important, but he does. And they're able to use those notes to reopen the portal and go back, taking some of them with them. And in the future, they're able to use those, and they take what they learned from those notes in that experiment and are able to jump forward a lot in their progress. It's a bit more complicated. So this doesn't actually tie into the picture at all. This is just some other background knowledge for a different picture, which I have closed. I'll show you that one. Hang on. Because I don't think you were in the stream for that. So this takes place in an alternate timeline. In that portal test 2D, one of the scientists in one timeline doesn't go crazy, but in the alternate timeline he does, and he has an effect on the war that eventually happens, which escalates it from a small months-long thing to a galaxy-wide, decades-long series of wars. Not just between the Antarans and the Andromedans, but within another civilization as well. That the lab that they worked in was I don't remember what city it was in. It might have been the capital, might not. Their lab was a normal lab. It could have been one of these buildings. Probably not. These don't look like science labs. But when the portal opens and does its thing, it sucks them into they think a similar but alternate dimension, similar to the backrooms. And there was, I didn't mention this, there were monsters in it, and some of the scientists attacked some of the scientists. I don't remember my notes on the monsters. It was probably similar to the Backrooms monster, because that's what inspired it. I'm sorry if it's hard to follow. I need to... I have a much more coherent note. I have pretty coherent notes on that event in my binder about all this, but I don't have binder with me right now. I don't have it in a digital form yet. That might be the next thing I move over to digital. Is my notes on that test. That alternate timeline isn't super important. It's just something I did kind of because I wanted to have a reason for the Andromedan War to escalate. Actually, I think I did it after I started working on that picture so that it had a reason to exist. I don't remember. I've been working on both of these for so long. I just need to get them done. That might do it for today's stream. It's getting later. I've got other stuff to do. We made good progress today. I don't know when the next time I'll be able to stream is. Maybe next week, maybe the week after. Probably the week after. But that is going to do it for today. I need to get a snack. I'm hungry. Thanks for watching. This was the most fun I've had in a stream for a while. I wonder if maybe next stream I'll actually like dedicate it to going into detail about this whole thing and Terra and all. Yeah, it was nice having you. I had a few people in chat today, so things ended up going pretty well. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.